Hey everybody, it's Tim from Strange in Denver, Colorado. Welcome to Strange Craft Beer Company. I hope you guys have fun with this.
Tim claims that Strange Craft is one of the best kept secrets in Denver. At first, I argued with him because I've known about Strange Craft for years. But then I realized that he's totally right. They're located in an unsuspecting strip center, quite literally on the other side of the train tracks. They boast a small tasting room, a back patio area that's refreshingly urban, and they've chosen not to distribute their beer on a massive scale. Tim is one of the most likable people you will ever meet. He's a brewing genius, a devoted father and husband, a storyteller, and a man who knows his beer is the bomb. But he's also happy with keeping it low-key, and that's just fine.
First batch of beer I ever brewed was my future wife's idea. At the time we were engaged, we were getting married in August of '97, and she thought a great idea in June, let's make a batch of beer for the wedding and serve it to the wedding party. And we'll serve it to our guests, and it'll be a little present from us to everybody attending. So we went and found a brew on premise in downtown Chicago. There used to be an old firehouse. And they had a bunch of recipes, they had the equipment all laid out. You went in, they told you how to do it, you made beer, you came back 2 weeks later and you bottled it. And we made Tim and Marney's Hitching Brew, which was just a really simple American brown. But after that I wanted to keep going. It was her idea, and she's the one that got me started.
She sounds cool.
She is.
I like her.
She is. She's very patient, very tolerant.
So what did the wedding guests think of that first batch?
They loved it.
Did they?
They loved it. It was a nice, simple, easy drinking American brown.
Tim shared with me some amazing stories, but the one that I loved the most was about the conception of my favorite, the Cherry Creek.
Can't do a taster flight without the Cherry Creek.
Yeah, awesome.
So we got the Cherry Creek in there. And quick story about that one. First time I brewed that beer, my daughter had just been born. Came out with a big mop of red hair. So they were at the hospital overnight, and I bring our, at the time, 4-year-old son home. I put him to bed at like 10:30 at night. It's like, wow, it's that baby girl. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So I ended up going out on the back porch and digging through my grain bins and found some Belgian Pilsner and some white wheat, and Cherry Creek was born.
Oh, that's awesome.
I didn't want to make a batch of Flat Tire or a batch of Killian's Irish Red clone. And as a home brewer, I sometimes liked to brew beers that I couldn't get regularly. I used to play around with my own version of a Two-Hearted recipe, which is from Michigan, and they just barely started distributing here. So for like 20 years of homebrewing, I couldn't get Two-Hearted unless I went home to Chicago. Same with the Cherry Creek. New British Belgian Red only distributes in Wisconsin.
Oh, great.
And trying to, it used to cost me like $100 on top of the cost of the case to bribe somebody to bring me beer back from Wisconsin. So I got so tired of it. I was like, you know, I'll make my own cherry beer.
Tim has won multiple World Cup of Beer medals and even placed top 3 at the Great American Beer Fest for his 12% barley wine called Dr. Strange. It's absolutely outstanding. I think that Strange Craft is producing the best beer in town, and even publishing this video scares me a little, because with the caliber of his beer, this quote-unquote best kept secret could easily blow up and become the hottest Denver brewery. So keep this on the lowdown.